Well, it's a dance performance at the Bagley Wright on Saturday, September 5th at 1:30, and it's a dance that I made basically as a solo for myself originally, an 80-minute solo. And I made it, took about 3.5 years to make, so from 1994 to 1997. And I toured that solo all over the country and in Korea and Russia, and did it on the boards 3 years ago. When I did it on the boards, I taught 5 wonderful Seattle dance artists the piece so that we were like a tag team solo group. And for the performances at Bumbershoot, we're going to be 11. So there are 11 dancers tag teaming this solo, and it's all performed live by a pianist, wonderful pianist here in Seattle named Françoise Papillon. The piece is called the Goldberg Variations. It's with classical music by Johann Sebastian Bach, and the roster of dancers includes like some real local celebrities, wonderful dancers, including Katie Niehoff, who founded the Velocity Dance Center and has her own company, Lingo Dance Company, and Tanya Lockyer, who is a solo dance artist and worked for companies in New York and Boston before she moved out here, and she teaches at Cornish. Ezra Dickinson, who dances for Maureen Whiting and also works at the Can down at Pike Street Market. Oh my gosh. Beth Greatzick, who has a company called Salt Horse with another dancer, Corey Beffert. Jörg Koch and Elizabeth Cooper, who are both faculty at the University of Washington's dance program. And then there's some relative newcomers like Alice Gosti, who's a recent graduate from the University of Washington, and Devin McDermott, also a recent graduate. So the age range goes from like 23 to 48. Well, it's modern dance, so it's not ballet, but it's contemporary dance. The Goldberg Variations are 30 short variations between 1 and 2 minutes. So the challenge was to try and, as a solo, was to try and keep the solo going and change it up as often as I could. So each variation is different from the one before, and some are more dancey, and they'll explore qualities like circular movement and lyrical movement, and some are more angular. One is sort of like a pop and lock kind of a variation. There's one that goes up and down and has more inversions, and then there are more like theatrical variations too, like there's a human water fountain, and there's a backup singer with a mic, and there's a variation where all of the electrics are lowered down to about 3 feet above the stage, and the dancer's just dancing underneath the electrics. I think there's a football player, and there's also one variation where the dancer takes off all their clothes and then stands there naked until a new set of clothes drops down so they can get dressed again. Well, I think part of it was just aging. I'm 48. So to do 80 minutes by myself gets a little harder. So I think that was really probably the primary reason. But it's also nice, like, to have different bodies doing it. I think it makes it more entertaining in a way, because then the people keep changing up. It's a different experience. Oh, well, I don't know. There's also a variation in which the dancer who is on stage doesn't move at all, and the audience has to come up on stage and move them around. So actually, you never know what to expect from the audience. It's actually one of the fun moments of the piece, because it's nice to watch people. We warn them about it at the beginning, but then when the moment finally comes, which is probably half hour later, you're not quite sure if anyone's going to be coming up or not. But people usually like to come up by then, and it turns into a little bit of a party. Well, I'm going to dance too. I'll do a few of them. I mean, I know them all, so I'm kind of like the universal understudy. In case anybody gets hurt, I can do some of them. But I'll be doing a few of them. I think he'd like it. I think he would enjoy it. It was kind of done in the same spirit as the way it was written, because originally that piece was written for a certain count, or at least this is how the story goes. It was written for a certain count who had insomnia, and he used to wake up in the middle of the night, and so he would summon his court harpsichordist into his bedroom. I guess there was a harpsichord there, and the harpsichordist would play some of these variations to entertain him while he couldn't sleep. And but I think it was also to relax him. So I think I wanted to make something, maybe I wanted to make something that would entertain people, like the piece was written originally. But maybe we're not doing it at 2 in the morning, we're doing it at 1:30 in the afternoon. No, I think it's a great piece. It's been seen all over the world in many, many different places, and in the modern dance world, it's pretty well known. So it's a real privilege for us to be doing it at Bumbershoot, and it's great to be able to do it with all these wonderful Seattle dancers. It celebrates the richness of this community.